We begin today with another visit to the Clay County community of Harvard.
It turns out the town is home to 6 different historical markers. In this segment, we talk with a local history enthusiast about these markers and the stories that they tell about the area.
Well, hi everybody. We are in Harvard, and this community really has a wide variety of historical markers. Joining me now with more on this is Scott Stemper. So when you look around this town, there are a lot of historical markers. Can you tell us what they are?
Yeah, we have 6 of them actually located, and of course we're in Clay County, and I think the county has something like 10 total historical markers. We have 6 of them, and so of the 6 that we have, one of them of course is the jail, the Harvard jail, that was built back in the 1890s. We have another historical marker that is the Carnegie Library, and even today it was built in 1915. And it's still today being used as a library. There were 33 libraries, Carnegie libraries, built in Nebraska. And of the 33, there's something like only 13 that are still being used as a library. So we still have that. Episcopal Church back in the 1870s was the first church in town, and there were 4 churches on that intersection corner. We have 2 historical markers kind of in the center of town. One talks about the Army Air Base that was built back in 1942, and then there's another marker that talks about the B-17 crash that we had, where 14 airmen lost their lives. And then the last historical marker, of course, is the establishment of Harvard back in 1873.
And Scott, we're standing by the Harvard jail. That's one of the markers in town you mentioned.
People can still come see it. It's still, like I said, it was built in the 1890s, and so it's still here.
Do you think people really realize the amount of history that is encompassed right here in this town?
The older generation, of course, people who grew up in Harvard back in that day, even into the 60s and 70s, know what Harvard's history was. This town was a booming town. In fact, when it was established back in the 1870s, Harvard was supposed to be the Hastings. It's in our history books. You know, unfortunately, what happens, I think, in a lot of towns in Nebraska maybe, is people move away, people don't grow up with that kind of history, and I was lucky enough to do that. So my passion is to really talk about this little town, and there's always a running joke with all the alumni that graduate from Harvard. When we introduce ourselves to people, we always say, we graduated from Harvard High School. You know, and it always gets a chuckle, but there's such a lot of pride in this town and a lot of people.
If someone wanted to learn a little bit more or maybe come and see the markers, is that fairly easy to do?
Yeah, these are all public markers. You can drive around town. We have some history books that are at the library, and I actually have a couple books that I can show you, but yeah, it's easy to access all these history markers.
Okay, Scott, well, this is really fun again to be in Harvard and learn about all of the markers, unusual amount of markers right here in this community. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for highlighting Harvard. It's been a pleasure.